What a crowd tonight. Be here all night. Yeah, so this is my talk. Hi, I'm Connor. Oh, I got this. Yeah, React Native in 2026. Not your daddy's React Native. I have been through React Native for like 7 years now. I think it's been around for like 10. So I've seen a lot of shit. I don't know if I can say that in the recording. You can! All right, sweet. But the goal of this talk is to have a bit of fun. It's really a bit of a systems design problem for everyone. I mean, I built the thing. You don't get any, it's not really a democracy, more of a dictatorship on like the decisions. But you can think about it. And I hope by the end that you guys, if you haven't done React Native, or like you have done it, you can think of like this stack as like something you could tell your PM if like you were thinking of making an app. If they asked you like, hey, can we make an app? Or if you had your harebrained 11 o'clock idea like, we need dog Tinder, or something like that, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you make dog Tinder. That was not in the notes for, that was not in my lyric sheet for this. But really quick poll. How many of you guys have tried React Native? Little show of hands. How many of you guys, thumbs up, thumbs down, still like React Native? Oh, wow, that's a lot of thumbs up. I can't believe it. Some people are lying in here. React Native is great. React Native is great. I'll give you that. But there's also, we're going to talk about caveats. I can fit so many opinions in this bad boy. It's crazy. So that was a long time on the goal screen. Hopefully I go faster for the rest of it. That's me. I'm Connor. I'm a full stack engineer at Formally. I actually don't do any React Native there, but I fancy myself a bit of an indie hacker, freelancer situation. And I built this app over here. Ooh, here we go. Called Skin Theory. Like 6, 7 years ago, been maintaining it, and that's got like 50, 100,000 users. And so React Native can let you build that for nothing. Like you just build it. I mean, your time, of course, which is worth something. But yeah, like I have a lot of problems and a lot of good things to say about React Native. But today we're not talking about Skin Theory. If anything, that's more about contrasting how hard or what React Native is now. And the idea we're building today is German is hard, more of a problem rather than an idea. And since LLMs come out, the best thing they can do is literally language, right? They don't even have to be right. They're just really good at taking language and turning it into something else. So I've always wanted to turn my crappy B1 German into something I could speak. Because with German, B1 does not mean you can speak still, unfortunately. So here we are. We're going to build a message app that talks to an LLM. It corrects you kind of Grammarly style. And also, it's supposed to be a little weird. It's called Weird Friends. But yeah, it's supposed to be fun, a little more fun than Duolingo kind of deal. No shade to Duolingo. They're from Pittsburgh. I'm from Pittsburgh, so it's like a bit of camaraderie. Design decision number 1, the messaging interface, or I guess, you know, the question's kind of answered here. What are we going to use? It's React Native. I could probably skip this slide, but I want us to lay it out as if it's a system design kind of, I don't know, like talk with your PM in general. So like one, we could build a native app. It's kind of self-explanatory why we don't have to. It takes a load of work. You need to know kind of like 2 different systems. You need to know like, you know, Kotlin, Swift. So we're not going to do that. And we could then build a cross-platform native app, right? Which means we're going to build some sort of shared code base, and that'll bake down into 2 apps. So the options for that, we can kind of move past it. I don't want to get too caught up in it, but the interesting one here that's different is like Capacitor is just like a web view. And that means that like you're actually just kind of building like Safari or like Chrome and then using normal React, and that's being turned into an app. And that has its own downsides. You can't really use the native functionality so well, has loads of like performance issues, but maybe amazing if you like just need like an e-commerce that's simple, or like content heavy stuff. But like Flutter is also an option, but I don't do Dart language. It's also kind of waning in popularity a little bit, I would say. It was super hype cycle, as kind of Bogdan was kind of showing as well around 22, 23. But it seems like React Native like dipped and is like coming way back up. Like React Native is back on the rise. The boom is back. It's great. And so that means, oh, well, let me teach you a little bit of React Native, just very simple to get past it. One is like React Native is React. So for those of you who didn't raise your hands here, like if you know React, which you probably do, you can jump right into React Native. All the stuff it's doing under the code you don't really have to care about. Not yet, at least. You will. Oh my God, you will probably, because something will go wrong. But mostly you won't have to, and maybe Claude can solve that issue for you. But really, like, you're coding React with different components. You use a view instead of a div, you use text instead of a P, and the reason you do that is because there is no DOM, there is no browser. Like, this is components that are sent or given to you from React Native, and those will be baked down into these Android or iOS primitives that they can show on their OSs, right? And then that also goes for the CSS down here. That looks like CSS, but there's no such thing as CSS down inside of iOS or down in Kotlin. So this is actually, they're using this engine called Yoga that is turning that into the primitives. But for you guys, it doesn't matter. We're doing CSS and React, which is great. And the other thing that it offers is we can use what would I say, native modules. That, so it's we get the normal React and then native modules. For example, a native module would be notifications, which most of notifications are handled by the OS. So when you receive that push notification, you actually have to register that with Apple or with Android. You can't just be spamming notifications in someone's phone, but then you actually type the listener. What happens when someone clicks that notification? Where does it go in your app? What does it do? And you, of course, will be scheduling when that notification goes as well. So that is design decision one. We're using React Native. Of course, I probably could have skipped that section, but here we are. Hope everyone else is kind of up to date now and can follow the rest. We need to build a UI with React Native, though. We're not using vanilla React, vanilla React Native. That'd be crazy, doing all that work. So I've decided to make some puke-worthy UI with NeoBrutal, a NeoBrutal UI. That's one of my design requirements from the head honchos, from the boss up top. We need a NeoBrutal app. And then I also want to use Tailwind. That's just I'm not using Tailwind anymore unless you really are paying me triple. So that, I love Tailwind. I love putting all my styles right next to the tags. I know exactly what's happening. And it also will lead into our next design decisions in 2026. Step right up. So here is the UI libraries that I would say would be the most modern and most used. What you may notice is that there is only 4 on this screen. React Native has a lot less. Well, let's step it back. As I said, with React Native, you don't get to use divs. You don't get to use these Ps. You don't get to use any of these React libraries because those turn into normal DOM elements, right? So with React Native, any UI library that someone makes, they need to turn into React Native elements. So that's why you kind of get a lot less, but these are actually pretty good. But that's one sad thing with React Native. You don't always get to use stuff from React. You do when it doesn't touch native stuff, and this is touching native stuff. But just to get through this, some of these are all right. I could have used GlueStack v2 or Tamagui, just kind of not my thing, because Tamagui is more an older style UI library where you have to kind of use what they give you, that imported thing. I prefer really this kind of shad CN style where I want to start with something, I want a framework, and I want to pull that in and be able to get in there. I am probably scarred a bit too much from having to do really minimal CSS dot notation inside of some intense material UI table to try to grab some piece of that table. I want that whole thing, and what shadcn does, ooh, nice. My voice just got dreamy. Was that you? Sorry. back to the talk. Anyway, so we can use React Native reusables, and that is basically shadcn. That is React Native answer to shadcn, and you can get all these components, and you use this CLI, and it gives you a bunch of built-in stuff, and you set really your colors at the top level, which is quite nice because this is kind of normal, but you get destructive, secondary, primary. You basically build your building blocks, right? And then you just get everything, and you can pull everything off the shelf when you're done, but you can also get at everything. I don't know if that's that can come through super clear, but if you've ever used a UI library and just been stuck Like you just hit the wall. You can't touch anything else in there. You can't make it like do what you need it to do. Like that's the power of ShadCN or like React Native reusables here, which like God bless that guy who did the work to make React Native reusables. But like you get to make, I made this whole Neo Brutal UI out of like ShadCN or React Native reusables, and I get to use it by like, it feels like taking components off of a shelf, which if you're not a designer and you're a developer, you need to just be grabbing components, sticking them in and going. You don't need to figure out what is my secondary. Is it like 20% or 30% on the RGB? Like I don't care. Like I just want to grab it, put it in and use it. And so like I would really recommend trying that. Also because you own all the code at the end of the day, which is great. Design decision 3, we're done with the UI for now, but we're definitely not, because this whole talk has to be about UI. We're at the React talk. So we're going to get into some of the back end of this full stack, but I'm going to do it through like a front end focal point. So one sec here, I'm going to have a sip of my beer. Cheers. All right, so we need for our app auth, and we need users, and we need data. We need like the data to be associated with the users. And how are we going to do that? Like there's loads and loads of different like platforms as services, Postgres, like basically we need a database and some sort of auth provider, right? And loads of different options. Not going to get into too much of them because this talk will take forever, but for me, I really like Supabase when I do this kind of thing. And like again, this is a little bit back-endy, but we'll come back to the front end on the next slide. What's great about Supabase is auth is included right next to your data. Like it's right there. That ID, this ID is like, you're not using like 2 different SDKs, Auth0 over here, Postgres over here, waiting for some webhook to hit them. They're all right there, and you can deal with them with the same SDK over here. Like that's like your auth SDK, and then you also are going to be like requesting data from this SDK as well. What I also like is that it's unpluggable. I can host this myself. The management UI for your database is kind of awesome. Like even if you're good at Postgres, if you're not good at Postgres, it's great. If you're good at Postgres, it's great because you can just go in and change stuff. And if you're really feeling nuts, you could let your customer support rep go nuts in there and change profiles and stuff, but I don't have that trust. What else? It does migration management and local dev great, but really like the star of the show, especially when it comes to like React Native, is RLS and CLS, which stands for row level security. And this thing is nuts. Like what I love about this is you basically get to take out the back end. Like you can imagine in like a normal, I know most normal apps, right? You got the front end here, you got the app, then we got like the back end, and then we got the database. And when you want data, you ask the back end, which asks the database, which makes sure you're okay, and then like sends it back to the front end. With RLS, right from the data model in the database, you basically say, hey, if the user matches this auth ID, they can select all this stuff, and they can update only this stuff. So that's actually column level security. The row level security lives up here, but you match the IDs, and that means when you're making your data model, which is when you're thinking about who should access that, you get to like, it's just like, it's like not defense in depth, but sorry, I'm at a loss for words. I love it so much, you know? I just love RLS. You just don't have to code a whole backend. You don't have to use Zod to be like figuring out like if I should be getting stuff, and like you don't have to check if someone's like in an organization. You just do it right from the database, and you're skipping that jump as well. Like you are saving time. There's not 2 jumps, one to, I don't know, you're like US East 1, and then wherever your database is. So can recommend RLS, especially even from a front end, because this is in my front end. It's just me hitting Supabase, and it's completely secure. So that was the database. And now we have still a need for a backend. I just talked about how it's great that we don't need a backend, right? But we still need a backend, and that's okay. We still need it for like a little bit of stuff. You know, we have an AI that needs to generate a response. Like there's just going to be some stuff in the backend, but that's fine. And we make compromises, you know. And like I can't get into all this. It's just too much. There's a whole backend going on here. But the interesting thing is, because most of this legwork is being done by Supabase, most of my data I'm getting from my users, anything that I can get right away is just like, that's fine to be dealt with Supabase, but anything that needs computation, for example, when I send a message and I need to let the AI know to start like generating a reply, we can have a few backend endpoints, and we'll use RPC for this. In this, I actually use ORPC up here, which is kind of like a new TRPC, if you've seen that. And like what that is from a front-end standpoint, it makes querying your backend kind of like a function. It feels just like a function. Like if you actually look at my front-end call here, this is just like a function call, and then this is my backend running on Cloudflare workers, and this will like export a type, and when I call this, there is no Axios, there's no Zod, like that's going on. Like I don't have to implement that on my front end. I don't have to make sure, oh, what happened with the error. This is all type safe from here by default. So I just call this, I mean, this is kind of some tan stack, but don't worry about it. Really what it is doing is just calling this function. All of the API call is being handled under the hood. This is the input for my function, so I need a chat room ID. This is refreshing a chat room, so like refreshing the messages. This is, like I actually get to type the errors as well, which is really cool. So if a chat room's not found, that can be grabbed right out of that error on the front end, and I could do something specific if I wanted to. I'm not, but like, I think you should definitely check out ORPC if you need a small backend that's not a REST, not like a full like public REST backend. But yeah, I really like that backend. Design decision 5, we're getting close to the end, is the front end state. This one I can just fly through. 1, tan stack is great on the front end for server-side state. I feel like I'm probably preaching to the choir here. Like I feel like everyone's got to be using tan stack. But if you're not, what's great about it is like instead of using like MobX or Zustand or something, all of my anything from the server side will be like kind of saved within tan stack. And I guess like the easiest way I would put it is like here, if I'm deleting a friend, I want to say in my app, without me having to do anything manually, I want to be like, okay, I deleted a friend. That means like the list of chats should have that friend gone automatically as well. And so what I can do is invalidate that query where it's get chats. So like that page would probably be getting chats. It would automatically invalidate it and pull down that I deleted the friend. So it just makes, yeah, it's just like really great state management if you're not using it for the server side. And what's really cool on an app is with a single line of code, you can persist that all offline. You can persist that all locally, which if you're building an app is way more important than building when you're building web, because like people will be using the app when they go in like a tunnel or something, or they just want to see their messages. So that's really nice. And then I'm using some Zustand as well for just very local state because you just need it, and it's pretty simple API. Also design decision 5, it looks like. Development and deployment. All right, this is probably like the bread and butter of what I love about React Native in 2026. I talked about a lot of different stuff in this stack. I would say this is like a 2026 stack, but this stuff is like what makes like the React Native stuff like so awesome now, and what I didn't have with Skin Theory is the React Native CLI is kind of dead, and this is literally the first thing you see in the React Native docs, and it says, can I use React Native without a framework? And like the whole thing is they're right away pushing everyone to Expo, completely private company. And I actually hated them in the 2010s, and I love them now. They're class. They're like amazing, to be honest. Like I don't really like shield for companies too much. Like if anything, I feel like I'm a bit cynical with companies, and I love them. I love them. They like give you like a great free tier. They're not destroying the ecosystem like some companies do in React ecosystems. And then I don't know. You'll see why. You'll see why. I hope you like them if you use them as well. Like, so one, their dev DX is just amazing. You run this like npx expo start, and this is how you do React Native. You run that, and it'll run your like Metro server, and it'll run your iOS. Start won't, but you then run your like iOS simulator next to it, and then you're off and running. It's the same as normal React, and they have just like a great suite in their CLI. One, their packages, they're amazing. Like, as I said, like React Native is this kind of insular system. So anyone doing anything for it, you just like love them. Kind of like what Bogdan said as well. There was 2 guys maintaining the TVOS thing for React Native. Like, that's hilarious. Like, that's like classic React Native stuff. Like, but like people are like standing on the shoulders of not giants, of like 2 people. It's insane. But you gotta love it. These guys are doing great stuff. Like, for example, like file system. Like, these are just like things that are seminal. Every React Native app is using these things. And like they're not charging for that. CNG, this is amazing. This is like, I love this. This specifically I paid for to deal with this problem, and it's horrible. So with React Native, that React Native CLI, you used to always carry. So as I said, React Native, it builds like an iOS and an Android folder. It builds these binaries for you. And what you would do is like carry them in your backpack with you for years. Anytime something changed, anytime any React Native updated something native, you would have to like just crawl through your code base, all this generated code you've never seen to figure out what you need to change. They have this hilarious updater that would be like, you have to update 500 lines, add these, and like remove 25, and then you go find it manually before AI. Like, it was nuts. I did not update my app for a long time until recently, and CNG has changed this by taking those folders out, and just whenever you need them, it generates them for each time you need to build a binary. And it does that by kind of using this app.json here. And yeah, if you're not using CNG yet on your app, you definitely should, because it makes updates so much easier and like everything you'll do. Number 2 is, well, this is actually maybe tied. So like, I love this and I love this too. Like, this is amazing. Oh my God, you have so many JSON files to manage when you're doing any mobile dev. You got stuff for all of your iOS keys, all for the different environments in iOS. Then for Android, like, you have all of those as well along all those different environments. And then when you're like running around doing different dev stuff, just stuff ends up in places. And so you can just instead put all of your creds inside of EAS, which is their platform as a service. The cred stuff is completely free to put in their platform as a service. They give you a lot of this in the platform. So like, hopefully they don't change that. But like, it makes it so easy just to now jump and say, build the dev version, or build the staging version, build the prod version, or like jump over and build the iOS version. And anyone on your team can do it. It's just like night and day with this kind of stuff. I even built like a little thing for my terminal with Starship that lets you like see who you're logged into, because I have multiple different apps and like clients I use here. So like, that's great. It's dope. Almost done here. Deployment, this is just, it's just hit after hit with these guys. You know, the deployment is great. They'll build it all for you. You get 30 free of these a month. Like, even if, and I don't even use them because I'm terrified of paying for it. And there's no reason. I would pay them, but it's like 30 bucks, whatever. But like, because you can build it locally, and they give you all the ability to build it locally. But if you needed to, and you would if you're on a team and you need to like share these credentials, it's very easy to put it in like their platform, or like for you guys to put it in your CI if you wanted to, with their basically with their CLI, and then you can share these internal builds so much easier. And then on top of that is this submitting. Like, there's just so much different stuff that you had to do. Like, you would think submitting's easy. It is not always easy. Like, you have to provide credentials and these JSON files and like find things, and like it's all in one place. I love it. It's like I bought like Bitwarden a few years ago. I'm like, I'm loving it. I can't believe I'm paying for like a password manager, like to store strings, but I love it nonetheless. Also, over-the-air updates, that's like a tiny little one as well. They also completely support you. Like, updates are a huge pain. If you mess something up, you can't just push it to iOS and Android, because they need to review it, and that's gonna take days, no matter if you're huge. So like, you need, like, there's these over-the-air updates which will push directly to the phone, and they support that, but that's like a little more of a paid feature, to be honest. But you do get a lot for free as well. So I hope I shielded Expo enough. I'm not being paid. If they're watching, I should be, because Expo's great. But anyway, Expo's really changed React Native. That's really like, Expo, it like can't be separated from React Native anymore, and it makes it so much better than dealing with the vanilla React Native. Because React Native itself, great. But like, mobile dev as a whole is just full of tar pits, I could say. I would say that. But I'll come back around to why that's actually a good thing in some ways. Agentic dev, this is the end of my talk, more or less. It is the end of my talk. I did a lot of cloud PRs for this, which I found really fun to do. As like an indie developer, I would just like be testing it out, and then I have Claude on my phone, and I have it connected to my GitHub, and I'll be like, hey, like the confetti burst is like completely destroyed. Can you fix this? Starts up the PR, leaves the PR for me, and then when I pop home, I can like check on it, and if it works, boom, right in. And that's great, and it's really cool for leaving. Instead of just taking a note in my phone, I'm like, hey, what if we built this feature? No way you'll build this feature, right? And then it'll build a feature, and then you go check it out. It's just it's cool. It's cool to try. The problem with it is Claude doesn't like, it's not like a full dev box yet. It doesn't support like running the tests or anything. So it's just generating code the same as the autocomplete does on your keyboard. And so that is like the next step, is like it needs to see what it's doing. I've started messing around with this. This is like mobile MCP, and it can actually see, like you can see here what it's doing. It's like clicking on the screen on coordinates. So like the next step, and probably what everyone will be doing like by next year, I guess, would be like ask Claude, hey, build that feature. Then it starts doing the feedback loop of seeing what it's building, also running the unit tests, and then going and fixing it, looking again, probably taking screenshots, sending them to you. I'm kind of trying to build this pipeline myself. It'd be awesome to build this app autonomously, but yeah, that's the idea. Like that'll be the feedback loop in the future, and it's already kind of happening on mobile, or sorry, on native, not native, what is it, on web, because there's like Claude and Chrome, for example. The even cooler, yeah, that'd be great. If someone could also, I would pay someone if they built that to work with like TestFlight right out the gate, because it's such a pain testing all the different versions of apps. Cool. Oh yeah, so this is basically my wrap up. Mobile, I've kind of ran mobile through the dirt in a lot of ways. I have a lot of love and hate for it, but the reason I have the love is like it's got a really interesting moat and distribution engine, and this is what people don't get, especially when people talk to me about like, PWAs had a place, but people will be like, why didn't you build a PWA? No one's downloading PWAs on their mobile. That's just like the case in fact. The technology is super cool, but it's just the distribution problem is like lost on people sometimes. Like the App Store is a recommendation engine. I know I just put my app out and people are using it. And like that is super underrated. And you can see how hard and gated the community is. AI is springing stuff up like left and right on websites. There's millions. But the App Store is like, because of the human processes, they're like, an AI is not figuring out how to deploy on iOS right now, I'll tell you that. So if they make that, God bless us. But anyway, like there's just this interesting moat from AI. There's loads of AI apps on there, but so much less. Like I would say orders of magnitude less. And this discovery engine from Google and Apple exists. And the ASO is much easier. App Store optimization is theoretically much easier than SEO. So yeah, that's kind of the stack that we built right there. And you can actually try out the app. It's at that URL. I would love any feedback. Please send it to my email. It's kind of crappy, but it kind of works as well. If it helps anyone learn a language, would love to know. It's all free. I'm just paying for people to use it. So, but yeah, that's my website. Thanks for listening to me ramble on.